This is FCA's Beyond the Game, where faith meets sports. We go beyond the post-game sound bites to real conversations with coaches and athletes who lead by example in every game, match, meet, or moment. We're glad you're here. Now, let's go beyond the game.
Welcome to FCA's Beyond the Game. We're excited this week's episode to have Kaden Elliss from the Atlanta Falcons join us. Okay, man, appreciate you spending some time with us.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm really excited to be here with y'all.
Absolutely. I think for those that aren't as familiar with your story, just tell us a little bit about how you grew up, your family, kind of a unique story you could share. So just what did that look like for you growing up?
Yep. My parents, both athletes. My mom swam at the University of Utah. My dad played football at the University of Utah, and they met there. They ended up having me while they were there. Dad had a great football career, All-American over there. First-round draft pick in the NFL, moved off to Detroit. Him and my mom went off with me there. I was 2 weeks old, and we moved from Salt Lake to Detroit. And he had a great NFL career, Pro Bowls, All-Pros, all that. It was pretty awesome while he was there. Met Dave and Ann Wilson, some pretty awesome people, pastors over at Kensington Church, and just special people that really took my parents under their wing. And he was also Dave was the chaplain for the Lions, and was able to kind of call out my dad on some things and say, you're kind of talking the talk, but you're not walking the walk. And that's when my mom and dad really gave their life to Christ. And all of a sudden, years go by. And they've got 12 kids. They love Jesus. They had 5 biological, 7 adopted. So just loving on, the least fortunate. Man, they're awesome people. They're special.
That's awesome.
So, man, it was fun growing up with all my siblings, having my parents, my dad and my mom, just special human beings that I try to emulate in a lot of ways.
And you're oldest of 12, right?
I'm the oldest of 12.
So how was that? How was that that life?
Man, it was fun. I loved it. Like, obviously, childhood is childhood. There's good, there's bad. But for me, I can only pretty much remember good. It was a very special time, and I love being the oldest of my siblings. I love getting to love on them, be there for them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
And your dad was a chaplain, right?
Yep. So he was the chaplain when he retired. He was the chaplain for the Denver Broncos for 3 years. When he was there when they won the Super Bowl.
That's a good time to be there.
I was at that game.
Yeah.
Good win.
That's
good job,
cool.
Von Miller.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I love hearing that. Just I don't know. I guess today's world, like dads, kind of get, not the best light put on them, and in whether it's TV shows, movies, whatever, just in the media in general, like So it's always awesome to hear when you hear a dad talk like that, like you're talking about your dad, and that's the kind of father I strive to be. I'm sure the kind of father you strive to be.
100%.
What are some things that you've taken from your dad that you now 2 young kids, you're trying to make it your own, but you're trying to live up to that standard your dad set?
Yeah. Consistency. I really try to be consistent with them and things, and that's something that it's hard for me at times, right?
Yeah.
Like, man, being a dad and you got little ones, sometimes you want to just chill, even if it's with them, like just turn on a movie instead of maybe do something a little more constructive. So, man, try to be consistent with them and, put Jesus first. Especially, you never know when those moments are that your kids are going to see. Like, you never know the moments that they're going to remember, the moments that are really going to impact them. Like, one of mine was my dad had gone through bankruptcy after once being the highest paid defensive tackle in the NFL history, right? At the time, he was the highest paid ever. 10 years in the NFL, never should have an issue with money, right? At the end, they did. Went through bankruptcy, we had to move to Utah. He was gaining weight. Sorry, Dad. He was getting big. Obviously you could tell there was, strife with him and my mom. But man, I remember waking up one morning early. I don't remember why I woke up, but I walked into the kitchen. And it was early, like 4 or 5 a.m. And he was just at the counter, just with his Bible open. And I'll never forget that. It was just like,
that's cool.
Man, when life hits, when challenges hit, who are you going to be? And who are you turning to? Are you going to try to do it yourself, or are you just going to fall at your knees to Jesus and let him do it? So again, I never know when those moments are going to come.
Yeah.
And it can be in good times too, right? There's other moments I have with my dad that are amazing, good moments. But like, that's just one example where like, he didn't know that was going to be something that shaped his kid's life, but that was a moment that did. And so, just trying to be consistent in that every day.
That's awesome. I appreciate you sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think, because I grew up in a, church home, going, dad was a deacon, mom was in the choir kind of deal, so it's like Wednesdays, Sundays, you're always there.
Yep.
But I can distinctly remember when my faith became my own.
Mm-hmm.
It was no longer mom's or dad's or, this is what we did. Like, it was a personal relationship that I all of a sudden realized I had with Jesus. Like, what was that moment for you? Like, can you remember that, looking back going, hey, that's when it became my faith, not necessarily my family's?
Yeah. That's hard for me because there's so many like testimonies where you hear it's like, it was kind of one moment switch, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes it feels like it was just more of a dial than a light switch, right? Like
That's
it was
good.
really more of like turning up rather than on and off. And there were moments where it turned back down and turned up. But like there were moments as a child and as a kid where I remember like it was mine. I was on fire. And then there's moments in high school where sin entangled me, like so many people, right?
Yeah.
And at that point, like, oh man, come on.
Yeah.
And then, going off to college, maybe that'd be the time. But we're off on your own.
Yeah.
And you get to choose, like, without someone watching, what are you going to be? Who are you going to be? What are you going to do? And how are you going to do it? So if I had to say the answer to that question would probably be that.
Yeah.
But there's so many points in life where you just realize, like, it was becoming my own that whole time,
Yeah. I love that. I love how you describe that, like just the dial. I've never thought of it that way, but that's so good.
Yeah.
'Cause I think a lot of people, because you hear a speaker, you hear somebody tells this dramatic story and this dramatic encounter with God, and like, I was this and now I'm that. And I remember growing up, like those exciting stories. I was like, well, am I doing something wrong? Like,
Yep.
I'm almost ashamed to share my story because it's not all that exciting. It's just kind of, it was this, and then there's that dial being turned up. But then I got older and realized, no, like there are people who need to hear that story. They need to hear that other people have done that. So
Yeah.
I love hearing that because, like, I'm guilty of, especially when I was younger, like sharing my story, I would try to spice it up a little bit.
Me too.
And you're like, oh, that wasn't really, honoring God. I probably made that up.
Yeah.
So
And you want it to be this just moment of flip. But then even if you told the story like that, there's still more moments later on because you're not perfect still.
Yeah.
Even though we got Jesus' spirit living in us, like we're still gonna make mistakes.
Absolutely.
And when those come, like, did that last switch not count?
Right.
No, it did. It's just,
Yeah.
it's a life. It's a journey.
Yeah. I think for me, I kind of, the realization of how we communicate that. I mean, it was probably my first year of ministry. We would go around to these football teams or just teams in general, and we'd share the gospel. And a lot of times people that were sharing the gospel would do the, kind of traditional, like bow your head, close your eyes, raise your hand, whatever. And that sounded great, but there was this one kid I'll never forget from the football team I was working with. He came to like 3 events that year, and all 3, he came forward saying I saw him raise his hand, or he came forward and said he made a decision. So I remember pulling him aside and saying, hey man, you realize like this is like you made the decision, like it's once. Remember how he said, if this is the first time you've prayed the prayer? And he's like, well, that's the first time I prayed that prayer. And like to him, it's like that sounded a little different. Those words were a little different. I was like, oh my gosh, like
I didn't even think about that.
what are we doing?
Yeah.
So it really just kind of changed how I approached that. Because I think too, the way we communicate it sometimes, especially, teenagers, young people, when they're searching, it's like, okay, if I do this, if I, commit to the Lord, if I give my life to the Lord, everything's going to be all good now. Yeah. Everything's good. I flip that switch. He's going to protect me. Nothing bad's ever going to happen again. And that's, that's not the case.
Probably the opposite.
Yeah,
Again,
exactly.
you saw you just turned your life to Jesus.
Exactly.
He doesn't like that.
Nope.
He's going to remind you what you used to like. He's going to remind you what you once were.
That's good. Yeah. Especially, athletes, people of influence. Enemy does not like that because he knows the weight they carry. So yeah, that's good. And I appreciate you sharing that. So talk about a little bit in college, played at Idaho.
Yep.
So you're a believer, you're playing collegiate sports, you're super talented. You've got a future. Like, what was life like then in college? How did you balance football, life, and your walk with the Lord?
Yeah, man, college was fun. Like, I didn't have any offers coming out. initially after my senior year was over. I was frustrated about it. I was emailing every school in the country, and they were basically telling me scholarships already given out, right? I was in the middle of my basketball season, and 3 schools came, all connections to my dad, because they knew who he was, right? People that had, coached him, played with him, whatever. Like people that knew him. And they were basically like, we'll take a chance on this kid because look what his dad is, right? So it was Idaho State, and Weber State. Idaho was the only FBS school. They're FCS now, but they were FBS then. And I went on my visits all 3, and as soon as I went to Idaho, I thought I was going to do Weber State, it was closer to family, all that. But as soon as I went to Idaho, I just knew, Dad, talked to my dad. I was like, Dad, this is it. And he's like, I know, like, this is where God leading me. So I went, and man, it was fun. Like the people I got to meet, the friends I got to meet, the challenges I got to face on the field, in life, spiritually. I met my beautiful wife, Brooke. We got married. She just graduated, and I was in my senior year. Man, it was awesome. My dad ended up my 3rd year coming to coach. My brother came to play my 3rd year as well, so I got to play 2 years with my little brother, who plays for the Patriots now. Another brother ended up playing there. So Idaho's a very special place in our heart, and balancing faith in college is hard. Obviously, there's the parties, there's the girls, there's whatever Satan can distract you with, he's going to throw at you, because there's a lot available then. But man, just meeting some other strong believers that I got to kind of walk through life with. It was special. It was awesome. And I love my time.
That's awesome. Yeah. You're out on your own. You got demands of time. You've got, football. You got all these things that you've got to do. And I think I look at a lot of our athletes, like the one thing you could probably compromise is that time with the Lord, right? Or, rough week of practice. I'm not gonna make Bible study this week. I'm not gonna make FCA this week, or I may not make church this week, whatever. And so, like the importance of having that, being disciplined in that, discipline in your sport, because the results you're striving for. But talk about kind of the discipline that's required just for your faith and that time with the Lord. Like, what does that look like? What's that look like for you?
Yeah. In college, it was, again, kind of dial, right? Like, I had a mat drill. I had to be up at alarm clock's going off at 3:50 a.m.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't waking up at 3:30 to do my Bible study.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
It's moments like that, God will honor. It doesn't mean everything's going to be good for you, but it does mean that you will be your best version that day because you spent time with Him, right? You trusted Him. Whatever comes at you that day, you'll be able to handle it the best. And that's really going through college, going through young adult, going through my time. My dad always emphasized when I was young, when you wake up, 31 Proverbs in the day. There's one for every day of the month. And you read it, right? Yeah. You're not playing with friends. You're not doing anything until you do that.
That's good.
Right? And there were other disciplines as well, working out, whatever it was. But that was the spiritual discipline. You do that. You do that before. So I knew about it. I would try to do it. I'd be really good for a week.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, you're tired. You got tests, whatever it is, distracts you. And still to this day, I'll miss a day. But man, that's something my spiritual disciplines that I feel has really helped me a lot. Just making sure, like I said, that you can take each day and whatever comes at you, you're on solid ground, you're on solid footing. You got you always got God's Spirit in you, but you're just ready. You just read His Word, you've listened to Him, you've talked to Him. So in the morning, when I wake up, first things pray, and I got a little prayer journal because I used to just try to pray, but honestly, my mind would just wander.
Yep.
So writing it down and being able to go over former prayers and check them off and say, oh God, thank you for that again, right? That helps my mind stay in the moment of praying. And then I do a Terry Lee Cobble Bible in a year every year. So my father and Allah and I do that together. So then I do that each day. Then on the drive, there'll be some worship music, maybe some more prayer, maybe just thinking. But that morning is something that I won't compromise. Even though I could go get another hour filming that day, I'm just not doing it. I could go get another workout, more treatment. I can't, because if I miss that, especially if I miss it for a few days, I just feel it, right? You just don't feel like you're your best.
Yeah, that's good. I think too, it's those are great disciplines to have. They're great, things to have in your life. But it's not I missed it today. Well, I gotta make up. All right, what do I have to do? It's those routines. It's having those things in your life, and then knowing okay, I can still go back to the great thing about being about God is He's always there waiting for us.
Always.
You know, when we struggle, we get, maybe we get out of routine, or, it's been a week since we've read the Word. It's been a week since we've spent any time in prayer, or longer. It's been years, whatever it is. Like, He's always there just waiting for us to turn around and reach up for Him.
Amen.
So I think that's awesome to hear. It's so important. I can tell you, like, when I get to 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, if it's been a rough day, I'm like, yeah, it's because I didn't get up this morning. I didn't have my time in the Word. I don't think I've prayed today. It's like you can correlate it back every single time.
100%.
Yeah.
Especially with kids, right? Like,
oh my gosh, yeah.
I lost my temper too much today.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
did I get on my knees before the Father today? Did I spend my time with Him, right?
Yeah.
If you didn't, like, not saying you're going to be a bad dad that day every time,
Right.
but it makes it harder to do what you know you're supposed to do, to respond to every situation that comes in a way that honors Jesus.
Yeah. I think too, we can be very transactional. Okay, if I do this, if I read 2 chapters, if I if I read my Proverbs today, if I say my prayer, then God's gonna bless me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get something out of that. But it's not about that.
It isn't.
Yeah, that's good. All right, so talk to us a little bit about, you get drafted by the Saints, making that transition. Idaho to New Orleans, I imagine, would be a little bit of a transition. But even the transition just from the college game to the pros, like, what was that like for you? How did you handle it? Was there moments where you were just like, I don't know if I can do this? Just how'd that go for you?
I had a moment. Actually, I don't know if I can do this moment was my freshman year of college. All my brothers I've had 4 that have played in the NFL, and one that's in a freshman college right now. Another that played played college ball. But all of us had that moment.
Yeah.
We all talked about it, like, where you have to look yourself in the mirror. I was in tears, like, I don't know if I can do this,
wow.
right? Since that point in time, like, God used it, grew me, fought through and learned more disciplines in life to, help me, not only spiritually, but physically and in sports, right? Discipline is so important. But in the NFL, I don't feel like I had that. Like, I never felt like I didn't belong. I remember my first OTA practices, first one I called my dad after. He's like, how'd it go? I was like, Dad, I felt like the best athlete out
awesome.
there. Like, I felt like I belonged. I know I belong. Like, I just felt bigger, faster, stronger. And my dad's like, okay, good. Cool down though. Cool. Like, it's OTAs. The vets ain't practicing hard. Chill. All right. But that's awesome. Like, I'm so happy for you. So from the moment, I felt like, oh, like, I can do this.
Yeah.
Like, I know I can do this.
That's good.
But it's still a transition, right?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, there's a nice transition in a lot of ways. You go from college to the pros. Like, there's no more school. There's none of that. Like, all of a sudden, you're getting paid well to do what you're doing instead of a little stipend check. I know college players now get NIL. Probably not at Idaho, but the big time colleges do. But the transition in that regard was, man, it was cool. Brooke and I were on an adventure together, and I was so thankful.
That's awesome.
Already had her, and we got to do it all together. And man, it was fun.
That's good. Yeah, I think, obviously, not a professional athlete, never been accused of being one, but I can just think of, that transition. You grow up, you're playing for the team. High school, you're playing for your school. College, you're playing for your school. All of a sudden, you go to the pros. Obviously, you're playing for your team, but, like, this is your job. Right? This is how you provide for your family. Like, how do you balance that? Okay, I've got to look out for myself and my family and my career versus doing what's needed to do for the team. Like, is there ever that moment where you're just like, I don't know?
It's different.
Yeah.
It's very different. Man, my second game ever, first game was like a thriller. Deshaun Watson, Drew Brees just dealing it out, and we won. And my man Will Lutz hit the game-winning field goal at the end, and we won. Second game ever, we go to L.A., the Rams, and this was like right after the whole pass interference that wasn't called that should have sent the New Orleans to the Super Bowl. So this is like big time, like they're hyping it up, almost like rivalry-ish all week. And we go there. Drew gets hurt. Teddy Bridgewater comes in, who ends up balling all year, and obviously over in Tampa, great player. But we just weren't able to pull that one out. And I remember, like, being after the game, like, so mad, like, same, like, high school, like, little league, like, college. And everybody just got their arms around each other, laughing, joking. Not, like, when you got to the locker room, there was still some somber feeling. But on the field, like, all the two teams, like, came together, and everybody's, like, laughing, saying hi to old friends. I was like, you're allowed to do this? Like, what? It's different, right? Like, it's truly a business now, and you still want to win. I think still the great teams in the NFL have selflessness to them, right? But at the end of the day, you got to make decisions that are best for you and your family, and you've got to, I don't know. It's a very interesting field. Yeah. Obviously, it changes. It's no longer just about the team. It's no longer just about the city or where you're from, what college you're at.
Yeah.
It's all important, and you want to win, but you've also got your family to take care of because this is your job, your livelihood, and
it's life.
The NFL is not for long, man. It's average is 3 years.
Yeah.
So it's a great opportunity that you can capitalize, and if you can make it more than 3 years, it's even better.
Yeah. I think that's trickled down a little bit too. Like, especially you mentioned NIL, like it's changed college sports. I mean, probably forever. But then looking at, there's even high school kids getting NIL, but then trying to get a scholarship, trying to get noticed. The club, the league world, you're playing all the time. You're going to this, showcase here, showcase there. And the element of, like, as long as I play well, as long as I do what I need to do.
Check the box score.
Yeah. Like I was, hey, how was your game this weekend? Talking to an athlete. He's like, man, it was great. Had 3 touchdowns, going off all stats. Hey, did y'all win? Oh, no. That's not even doesn't matter. And I get it, but like, how do you balance that? Like, I don't even, how do you want to do what's best for the team? Obviously you got to take care of yourself, but just, that's a fine line.
It is, man. It's interesting. I think, especially when I was in New Orleans and I was playing primarily special teams, it was hard because I felt like there were a lot of opportunities where I showed that I deserved to be on the field more.
Yeah.
I didn't do things perfect. I knew there were reasons that the guys ahead of me were ahead of me, but I was like, dang, come on, I think I've showed y'all more. Like, I can get some clock. Man, at the end of the day, I think if you just trust that God's got you, like, then you don't really got to look out for yourself anymore, right? You can truly be selfless. Even Jesus came not to be served, but to serve, right?
Yeah.
And I think, that's what should make us different as Christians. Like, yeah, it is a selfish world, but we should be selfless. We should, you got that C on your chest. If you're a leader on your team, like, you show that by serving others.
Yeah.
And, I think, you look at the selfless teams in the NFL that are so good, or maybe the teams that are so good in the NFL, you see moments of selflessness. Like, look at David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Like, you can just tell. Like, they are sincerely happy every time the other guy scores.
Yeah.
They could care less. You know what I mean? Like, you don't hear Amon-Ra St. Brown having a fit when he's not getting his catches all of a sudden. You know what I mean? Like, you just see that in the good teams. And I think it's really cool. I think that's something that you can just, kind of hang your hat on. Is selflessness will still show itself on the field, and it's going to show itself. And, if you trust God's got you, then even if you don't have those 3 touchdowns, He's got you, and He's got your future, and you can trust Him with it. Doesn't mean you don't do everything you can to go get those. Doesn't mean you don't do everything you can to be better and use it to work and drive you to get 4 touchdowns, right? But, man, as believers, we should live selfless.
Yeah. I think that's so key. And, as believers, we are called to be countercultural. The culture is be about you, take care of yourself, what's best, all those things. So that sometimes when you're not, it's almost shocking. Like, wait, like, why are you different?
Yeah.
Like, which I think is a great thing. I love if anybody asks me, like, wait, why are you smiling all the time? Why are you so happy? I'd love to tell you why,
Yeah. Come
so
on.
I think, that when you are countercultural, people are going to ask, okay, what's up? What's up with that?
Yeah.
Like, why are you acting like that?
They're going to notice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's that for you? Okay. Somebody sees there's something different about you, right? They see, maybe you're smiling more than everybody else or whatever, the way you're carrying yourself. Maybe they've seen, or you've been in the Word, in the practice facility or whatever. So when those moments come, like, how do you handle that? Like, what do you look for to share your faith, share who, Christ is with, whether it's teammates or just people around you? Like, how do you do that?
Man, I think when it's the best, when I do it the best I can. Again, I've been spending my time with God, and one of my prayers that is often in those times is like, God, give me eyes to see, ears to hear. Like, will you please show me who you have for me? And most of the time, like, especially in the NFL, guys are men. Like, they have their thoughts, they have their beliefs, and when they see you doing something different, man, again, the times that I've had these conversations with people, it's been like years into our relationship.
Yeah.
It's very rarely it's someone right away. This happened a couple times, but those are normally guys that, like, next day are in the Bible study. Like they already knew, like maybe they had a history with it, or maybe they are believing, they just wanted to know. But the guys where it's like, man, like, why do you believe what you believe? Or maybe, man, I want my kids to have what you have. That's been something that's said before. Like, we show me how. Things like that, like where those type of conversations come, it's really like, again, I think it's your daily disciplines, and it's how you do everything. Like how you take care of your locker, how you are in the field. Are you the same person every day? Are you kind of up and down, hot and cold? Like, what are you like every single day? And when someone's consistent, and someone's consistent in a respectable way, like people are going to notice. When they come to you, like when those conversations happen, almost every time they may be talking to me, but I'll shut my brain off for a sec. And I say prayer, like, Scott, I don't know what to say. Will you please guide me? Because whenever I do think I got it, all of a sudden those conversations don't go too well, right? But if you just listen and kind of allow them to talk and really just let God speak through you in those moments. I can't say what it's going to be, what the conversation is going to be like, but man, there's been some really special moments with some teammates and people like that.
That's good. I think key to what you're saying, like, it can't just be the words. Like, it's got to be the actions. It's got to be what you say. I mean, you know, you talked about your dad earlier, you know, 4:30 in the morning, however, like, there's no way he knew or could think that you were going to walk in and see him reading, you know, reading scripture. So it's those moments where, you know, we're not being watched, but we are.
We are.
Yeah. I think that's live your life as if somebody's watching you all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. You know, I can't help but notice more and more, and I mean, that's a great thing, but, you know, you see a game, I was watching a game a couple weeks ago, you know, starting quarterback, big win, you know, microphone's put in front of his face, and, you know, I just want to give honor and glory to God, and the reporter's always trying to get to the next question, right? Like, you know, I wasn't ready for you to say that. There's never a follow-up. Well, tell us more about that. You know, Jesus, tell us more about Jesus. So kind of the whole idea of when we were wanting to put this show together was to give, you know, athletes of influence the opportunity to share their faith, to share their why. Yeah. Because it seems, acceptable is not the right word, but it seems more and more prevalent that you see, you know, athletes, coaches in the, you know, post-game interviews or whatever, but you never see that clip on SportsCenter.
No,
you never see that clip, you know, trending on, you know, online, social media, whatever. So what's your encouragement in that for athletes, you know, coming up there in the high school, middle school, you know, maybe even collegiate, other professionals? Like, what's your encouragement for them to continue sharing their faith, continue honoring God? You know, what's that look like?
Man, that's what we're called to do. Like, that's what God has placed us on this earth for. To me, like, that's what it's about. And again, it should show up in our actions every single day. But when you are given the opportunity to share, just share boldly and trust Him, because He's going to give you the words. Share openly and honestly, because, man, those moments, like, I'll never forget as a kid watching Dabo Swinney after they won the national championship. Like, I'll just never forget that moment. Like, seeing how he shared and was so excited and passionate, man, it was special, right? And so, man, when you get those opportunities, take it. I think what you do every single day is just going to back that up, because when you get that moment, it brings honor and glory to Jesus' name.
That's good. Powerful. Did hurt my feelings a little bit. You said as a kid watching when Dabo Swinney won. I feel like that was just a couple years ago. And,
it was. Maybe it was the first one, right?
Yeah, we'll say that. We'll say that was a long time ago. Yeah, shout out Dabo. Love you, even from a Gamecock. Appreciate you. All right, quick little lightning round here. All right. So, what's your favorite Bible verse?
Ephesians 3:20.
Okay. What says what?
Now all glory to God, who is able through His mighty power at work within us to accomplish infinitely more than we ask or think. That's infinitely good. More.
That's good. Our theme this year with FCA is glory, and we're, you know, talking about whose glory are you playing for? Like, you trying to glorify yourself, you're trying to glorify the Lord. So that's awesome.
Amen.
All right. What's one, you kind of already touched on, what's spiritual habit that keeps you centered? What's the one thing, like, no matter what, you got to do this?
Again, my prayer and Bible study. A different one would be my brother and I, who's my accountability partner. We call each other every week, and we talk a lot, and it's awesome. And that's one, because we were talking earlier about, like, the spiritual habits, like disciplines, like making sure it's not ever just monotonous. You're not just ever doing it to check off the list. And that's one of the things we talk about so often is, like, man, I've been doing my prayers and my Bible study, but I feel like I'm missing that, like, that relationship part. And so we'll challenge each other in that a lot. That's probably one of the things we talk about the most is, like, hey, like, yeah, do your discipline, but also really just sit before him, like spend some time with him, however that's going to be. It's got to be a little different, but like really where you and God are just together because he wants that time with you so bad.
That's good. That's good. All right, book. I don't know, do you read? Do you like reading? Book, podcast, song? What's something that recently has kind of been an inspiration to you?
Man, I love the Crazy Love podcast.
Yeah.
I love listening to Francis Chan.
Yeah.
And man, like I got to meet him in person. My dad, when he was a chaplain, had Francis come talk at the chapel before the Super Bowl. And we got to go hang out. We were supposed to go to dinner, but we were in like Cheesecake Factory's line for 2 hours. And at that point, he was like, we'll see y'all later.
Yeah.
It's been too long. But man, he's awesome. He challenged me. And I just met the guy. And he was just like, I was like, what?
Yeah.
And I'll never forget my conversations with him. So I love listening to him, man. He's a call to action.
Oh, yeah.
So that's I actually listen to that before my games.
That's awesome.
I'll listen to one because, Sunday games, I got to get my little Sunday sermon.
Yeah.
So it's Francis.
That's good. Yeah, I wish you could like just download his knowledge. Like if I could just let me hit a button,
Please.
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, that's good. All right, what would you say the biggest lesson you learned from your dad was?
Oh man, I could probably sit here for 2 days and maybe come up with the number one.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just go with comes to mind first, and it's probably not, but it's gonna be a good one. Again, like when hard times come, who are you pointing to? Who do you rely on? Are you trying to stand up on your own, or are you gonna just drop to your knees and surrender? And probably what mirrors that is, seeing him in his success as well. Like when you are successful, what are you doing it for? And I'll never forget too. Like I told you a story of him in the morning, but like after games when we'd be walking out with him, there'd be like the old Silver Dome in Detroit, they'd have like lines of fans out there as you were like walking to go get in your car, and he would sign every single person's autograph that wanted it. And then every single one hit, like most of my teammates even, like it's like a quick little scribble, right? Yeah. His takes forever, and mine does too, because he would do he'd make it so it's like they know who wrote it, right? Because not chicken scratch. Yeah. And then he would put John 3:16 in a cross every time. So it's almost like writing 2 autographs. Yeah. He took his time and he did it, and us and my mom would be mad about it, or we'd be sitting in the car like, oh. Yeah. But he did it. And so I think, in the good times, who are you pointing to? And in the bad times, who are you relying on?
That's strong. All right, last one. What legacy do you want to leave behind?
Man, I want my kiddos to just be warriors for Jesus, and then for us all to spend eternity in heaven together, and us to just have a little counting contest. Who brought more with us? That's what I mean?
Yeah,
like
I love that.
I think that that's really what I want. Like, I want to have a legacy with everybody around me, but like really my kids. Like, I want to raise them up to just be warriors for Jesus, and then in that, I think we'll touch so many more people than if I just tried to go out without them. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect.
What about you?
Man, just kids make a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you I think about my kids, and just had a moment the other day. My 14-year-old son, he's like, "Hey, Dad," saying goodnight to him. He's like, "Hey, can I talk to you real quick?" I was like, "Yeah, man." What? Nervous, like, "Oh, what's this gonna be?" He's like, "Hey, just wanted to see what you would do. There's this kid. He's a year behind me, but I don't think he knows Jesus." And I was like, "Oh man," and that's so awesome. So just talking through him, like giving him some ideas of how he could go about that, how to have that approach. But to have my 14-year-old son like asking those questions, like, "All right, Lord, thank you.
That's so
thank
cool.
you for that privilege." So
good job, man.
Man, thank you, Lord. Right?
Thank you, Lord.
That's just the privilege
He's
He gives
giving
us.
you the responsibility, though.
Absolutely.
Good job.
Absolutely. So that's key.
Yeah.
I appreciate you asking that. Awesome. Well, man, thank you for your time. I know busy life. I can't even imagine trying to juggle, this in the middle of the season, family life, everything else. So really appreciate you making time to talk with us, but also talk to everybody that's out there, and your encouragement to them. And best of luck the rest of the season. We'll be rooting you on.
Thank you.
We are here in Atlanta, but everybody else too, rooting on the Falcons too. So
man, thanks for inviting me, and man, this is awesome. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for doing what you guys do.
Absolutely. We'll see you next time on FCA's Beyond the Game. Be sure you're following us on our social media platforms at FCA Atlanta. And if this has been encouraging to you, please share it. Share it with your friends, share it with your teammates, your coaches, whoever may need to hear it. But appreciate you being with us. Kaden, thank you again.
Thank you.
And we'll stay after it.
God bless.